Our Patreon request this week was the 2010 film I Spit on Your Grave, as requested by Lava Skin. And this is, of course, a very simple to describe movie. We have a writer who went out to stay in a cabin in the woods for a few months to, I guess, write and have a space to write. And she gets raped by a bunch of fucking hillbillies. And then she murders them all in horrific fashion. And that's basically the movie. There isn't a whole lot to describe.
My haiku, as inspired by I Spit on Your Grave. Writer in the woods. Lackadaisical rapists. Boring revenge plot. This is a whole genre of movie, by the way. The woman who is a writer in the woods and is either raped or attacked or whatever. There's... Oh my god, there's so many of these fucking movies, dude. It's ridiculous.
Women love their revenge fantasies, dude.
They also love getting raped in the woods.
True.
That's a joke.
But yeah, my overarching thought is this shit is boring and cringingly indulgent.
Yeah, I could see
also,
that.
The acting is bad. The acting is so bad.
The acting is not particularly good in this movie, no.
Yeah, this is not a good movie. It is... The start of it is very slow. It takes a while for things to actually happen. There's a lot of just wasted fucking time and the character acting really stupid. Of course, you know, there's the really long extended scenes of her being assaulted that really just don't need to take place for that long. You know,
Yeah, they're literally so long that you stop caring.
Yeah, it's like, we get the fucking point after the first time, and then it just keeps going on for like another 20 minutes. It's ridiculous.
Dude, you need to understand what she went through, though, man. You need to be there every step of the way so that you can understand why she wants revenge.
These writers have no idea what the word subtlety means. Anyways... Of course, then we have the second half of this movie. I don't even know if it's like a clean 50-50 split or not, on like which side takes place more. But, you know, we have the other part of the story, that being her revenge plot, which is insanely unrealistic and stupid, and they just completely give up on even trying for like realistic setups at all in the end, just to like make cool set pieces. It's like the writers were like, okay, we want to have a revenge story of some chick that got raped, and we have these ideas for like fun torture methods, and they just like do them in the dumbest, cheesiest ways possible, with terrible acting, really boring cinematography, horrible fucking lighting.
Oh my fucking god, yeah, the lighting is awful in this film.
It's just a very poorly made movie. I legitimately have nothing positive to say about it, to be completely honest.
Yeah, it has this like insanely muted palette that just makes the whole thing feel really fucking flat and so boring and uninteresting to look at. And also, the fucking color grading is super inconsistent as well. Like, there are scenes where, like, the cop fucking drives up in his car, and his car is just fucking glowing. It is so fucking bright. It's very weird. Also, I don't know if you guys really noticed this or not, but it's almost a similar issue to a Serbian film, where there are just zero extras whatsoever in this film. The only people...
it's literally just them. It's so weird.
To be fair, it's out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
But, like, still, there's no one. There's the fucking shop owner, and then there's the rapist and her, and I guess the guy's family. But, and everything else. Like, even they went to, like, a fucking park, and there's no one there. No other cars in the street or anything. It's a fucking ghost town.
Yeah. It just makes the whole thing feel so fucking desolate and empty.
Which I guess is what you could do, is putting you in the headspace of the woman, because she's feeling really desolate and empty as well.
There we go. It all comes
Never mind, this movie's brilliant, dude.
This movie's so deep, actually.
Why are movies that are, like, very specifically aimed at women so bad?
I'm not gonna comment on that in fear of people I know watching this episode.
Genuinely, is there a movie made for a primarily female audience that is not, like, abject dog shit?
Dude,
I'm sure there's plenty, but I can't think of any.
From what I've heard, Black Swan is pretty good.
Okay, that's fair enough. Isn't that about, like, fucking nuclear missiles, though?
I have no fucking idea what that movie is about.
Chicks eat that shit up, though. They love nuclear missiles.
All I know is that it's what it's been pitched to me as is American Psycho for women.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see that one now. I've heard the phrase a Black Swan event.
Okay.
But I don't know anything about Black Swan, so I only have a vague idea of what that phrase means based on context.
I think it's a famous play.
Oh, are these two different things?
I think so.
Never mind, you're probably wrong and that's dog shit too.
Okay.
Oh well.
Anyways.
I will give the film one positive here. I do think it does a pretty successful job at building atmosphere early on. I feel like it was able to make things feel pretty tense when the guys like initially show up and stuff, but you know, doesn't really do much with that, unfortunately, so it kind of squanders it. Also, I will say here, okay, there's one other big complaint for myself that I want to get out of the way here real quick. So like, I know that like something that Tanner will probably want to argue here is that like, she's a woman, how's she taking care of all these fucking guys? Which I don't fucking mind that, you know, like she's generally like knocking them out when they're like off guard and like using tools and shit like that to do it. So I don't really mind. It's not like she's physically overpowering them or performing like these touch of death combos and ripping their hearts out of their chests or anything like that, you know? I don't mind that at all. But like the moment she like comes back after getting raped and everything and starts like executing her plan, it's all just too easy. There's never a moment where like she isn't completely in control of these situations or like, you know, really struggling whatsoever. It just makes it feel like, okay, I guess the rest of the film is just us watching these guys get horribly tortured and then murdered. Which, you know, fair enough, they deserve it, but also it doesn't really make it exciting to watch.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about when I say that it's like, don't even try for setups later on, too. It's like, the girl's fucking god in this world, basically. How the fuck did she become the, like, teacher or something?
Right? How the fuck did that happen? Where's the logistics of
cop?
that?
That makes no fucking sense.
I assume she just showed up and said, hey, I'm the new teacher. And the mom believed it.
And the kid was going crazy for it. And then she takes the kid to a park, the kid just disappears, and then she waits, I guess, like, she's hiding behind some fucking tree for the guy to drive to the park, and then she goes into his car, and then what the fuck? It's so stupid. The movie just had no fucking idea how she was gonna fucking incapacitate this cop, so they're like, this is the best thing we've got, and it's stupid.
Yeah,
the only thing I was gonna say, the only thing that's potentially positive, I will say, the shit she's doing to the guys is pretty creative. The dunking the guy in the fucking acid, sticking a gun up his ass. If it wasn't so goddamn cheesy and she was like trying to make them feel the same thing she did and like making it like parallels to her torture to what she's doing to them, I could see why people would like that. I just think it's fucking cheesy, especially with her stupid one-liners.
Like, I was about to say, the fucking one-liners are awful.
It is. It's so hard. It's like, you can't take it seriously at all. Like, I want to fucking root for this chick, but like, don't say that. Don't fucking be like, yeah, you like taking up the ass too, huh? Oh, shut up. It's just rough. But yeah, the way they set up the traps is creative. I'll give it that.
Yeah. Well, what did Dylan think of this movie?
All right, next up here, I've got I Spit on Your Grave. Oh boy, this was a real rough movie to watch. Both on the front end and the tail end. At the beginning of the movie was just super uncomfortable. Really didn't feel like watching. Obviously, this isn't the most offensive or like worst movie we've ever watched, but I think given like the setting, and just the vibe that this movie has in comparison to those other ones, it's still pretty intense given what happened. But, you know, as far as, it, you know, setting the environment, the acting, both of those were pretty good. The cinematography, I'm not great at judging that, but from what I could tell, it wasn't too bad in this movie. I thought it was pretty good. And, you know, this movie did a really good job at making me uncomfortable. It sounds like it made you guys uncomfortable as well, but I guess that'll be left to be heard for me at least. And then, because it's weird because the middle is almost kind of boring, and it's sandwiched in between two intensely awkward, and I use awkward very loosely, situations where they're both intense in their own ways. And then in the tail end, I like how that she gave all the guys ironic deaths in comparison to basically reflect what happened at the beginning of the movie. In a, I guess you could say, sadistic sort of way, it is poetic. But yeah, I think surely based on the fact that I did not enjoy this movie for what it was, but didn't find anything else necessarily wrong with it, and just thought it was overall just pretty alright, I'm gonna give I Spit on Your Grave a C-.
Wow,
Holy
listen to that
shit.
guy. I'm sure he gave it a very low rating. Speaking of ratings...
Hey, I was you didn't let me actually say the thing you accused me of wanting to say.
Fine, go for it, Tanner.
I'd say for how many guys are there? There's 4.
Yeah.
3 out of 4 of them, I'm like, how the fuck did she even pull that off? The one guy she hits with, like, a wrench or whatever, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
She's fucking, like, taking these guys out with a fucking baseball bat or whatever. Cavemen were using that shit to murder each other back in the day. I think that it's totally fine for her to knock them out, especially when they're caught off guard, okay? Like, people fucking take a single punch and then fall to the ground and instantly die sometimes, Tanner.
They take a
like,
single
when you're
punch
dealing
from
with
a
shit with the
man and
head,
instantly
I think
die.
it's perfectly fine.
No, I completely disagree and you're wrong. Especially with
I
the
hate
cop,
women.
like,
They're so weak. How is a woman ever supposed to incapacitate a man? It's about, like, look at her. She's so scrawny. Look at her little arms. I could smoke them little arms.
You're the one coping here. You're living in fantasy land.
Yeah, you're living in some land where women are incapable of doing anything.
Dude, you literally cannot win this argument. I'm just speaking
I'm just stating
fact
facts here that women are literally not able to do anything against men.
Yes, correct. That's a factual statement, dude. That is just factual. I mean, they could do something against you.
Yeah.
But like a normal man, you know?
This is the funniest, most condescending conversation I've ever heard you guys have. This is fucking great.
Especially the cop is hard to believe. Like, what the? That's not. She would not have the arm strength or the leverage to fucking choke him out with a wire from the back seat of a car.
She didn't choke him out with the wire. She just bashed his head.
Oh, wait, that makes even less sense then. Oh my gosh.
She did have enough fucking swinging room to get in, like, a big, high
and also,
velocity
don't cop cars have a fucking partition between the front and the back seats?
Not this one.
They live in a small town, dude. They ain't gonna deal with any violent criminals.
They can't afford those fucking partitions, man. They defunded the police. I gave this one an F+. This movie fucking sucks.
I'm not far off from you. I gave it a D-.
I'm the lowest on this movie. I gave it an F.
Holy
a flat
fuck.
F.
And Dylan, despite how much he hated this movie, gave it a C-. He's the highest on it.
Oh.
Asinine. I'm hoping he...
I fucking called it, didn't I?
I hope he looks back on this ranking and says, man, that's fucking stupid. This is horrible. Anyways, that puts it at a D- overall. Sounds about right.
Yeah.